Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to yet another video, and today we are finally starting our coverage of Destiny 2. Now the game is out right now and it is everything and more that I expected, but before we get into the meat of this video guys, this is a massive spoiler and now is your chance to leave. We're going to be taking a look, actually a deep look at an exotic weapon, so if you do not want to see this yet, then click off the video now. But without further ado guys, let's get right into it. So the Graviton Lance is an exotic pulse rifle that we actually knew about before Destiny 2 officially launched, and it was very much a weapon that was hyped up by the community, including myself, and for good reason. This weapon is just an absolute beast. I've had about an hour, maybe 2 hours of playtime with this. I've taken it into both PvP and PvE, and it's just incredible. So black hole is the exotic perk it has. Third shot of the burst actually spawns a black hole. It then will burst, explode, and cause nearby enemies to take lots of damage. It might be a very situational perk in PvP, but honestly, this thing absolutely shines when it comes to PvE. The third bullet will also have extremely high damage and recoil with no fall off. It then has another perk, Hammer Forged Rifling, which is double the ranged barrel, increases the range basically, and then another perk that also increases the range, so that's fantastic. Cosmology, we already went over that, kills basically explode your victims, and then Fitted Stock increases stability, moderately controls recoil, and slightly decreases handling speed. So overall, fantastic perks on this weapon. As you can see, you can infuse this exotic weapon in all other exotics. You can put some mods on it, and then of course there are ornaments, but I have not found any just yet. Now the actual magazine size is actually amazing. I really didn't expect this weapon to not reload as much as it does, but you rarely find yourself running out of ammo, which is a very nice touch. Now I'm going to go over the lore really quickly of this weapon just in case some of you guys are interested. Think of space-time as a tapestry on a loom. This weapon is the needle. So wait, that thing you found does what? It fires black holes. No it doesn't. Oh yeah, it does. Actual tiny bullet-sized black holes. Did you tell the others? Only that I found some weird gun in some overgrown tunnel back on old Chicago, and that my ghost was all. This is why we were led here. Yours talks that way too? What did you think? Okay, but the gun, are you going to tell them? Yeah, definitely. When? Crucible. Oh no. Oh yes. As you all heard, there were two people having a conversation, and of course one of them got this weapon and was gloating about how they were going to take it into Crucible and of course just rain havoc on people. I actually did not read the lore and took this into Crucible myself, and this was fantastic. I was absolutely shredding people and it just felt like easy mode. Now I don't know if this is just because a lot of people don't have that many weapons yet and they don't know what the meta is, but this thing was seriously putting in work, as you can see from the background footage. Now I would very much recommend you use this weapon if you are a sharpshooter. You have to be extremely precise and have good aim and always be going for headshots. It's one of those weapons that is really going to cost you if you miss a burst, because it is not a fast firing weapon. The most comparable weapon that I can basically equate this to from Destiny 1 is of course the Jade Rabbit. Now, I'm not saying that it's similar in terms of, you know, it being a scout rifle and this being a pulse rifle. I'm not comparing it in that way. I'm comparing it in a way where you have to land every single one of your headshots, and if you do, the weapon's going to be extremely effective. But if you do miss any one of your bursts or your shots, obviously with the Jade Rabbit, then you are going to get outgunned. It's just that simple. It's one of those weapons you need incredible aim for, and it's high reward, high risk. That's the best way that I would really describe this weapon. Another thing that I actually really enjoy about this weapon is the way that it sounds. Now I know that might be a little bit obvious, and a lot of you guys are probably thinking, well, it's an exotic, it's supposed to sound unique and different, and I would totally agree with you guys, but this specifically really complements what this weapon has going for it. Now what I mean by that is the weapon itself is supposed to be a very scary, thunderous weapon, because the last bullet does 7 times the damage. It has no range or damage drop off. I mean, it's an absolute beast, and that's exactly how it sounds. It's almost like somebody at Bungie just went into an equalizer program or a sound program and basically just upgraded the bass on this thing to an absolute max. I'll let you guys listen to it really quickly here and I'll be right back.
I envy your strength.
So yeah, it's very thunderous and thumping, which is very, very awesome. I think it complements the weapon very well. And the last thing I'm going to talk about in regards to PvP is where you should be using this weapon from my personal experience only over the course of 2 games. So don't take this as fact, but I personally think you should not be using this close range because it is a slow firing pulse rifle. That's obviously not the best area you want to use it. And believe it or not, at a distance, you do not want to use this thing. I would recommend the sweet spot of being medium range. When you go too far, the last bullet kicks so goddamn much that it's very difficult to land that shot, let alone land it to the head. And that's the bullet that deals the most damage, so it's absolutely essential that you land that bullet in PvP. That's why I do not recommend using this weapon in long distance gunfights. Now moving on to PvE, this is where things get a lot easier for the weapon. A lot of the perks really complement the style and of course the weapon as a whole. For PvE, there's not really that much else that I have to talk about that's different than PvP. Of course, you still want to land those crit shots as it's very important that the last bullet lands. Of course, like I mentioned earlier, 7 times the damage is seriously something that's unreal, so make sure that that's landing, especially on bosses. It'll help you tremendously in the long run. Now, because the magazine size is actually at 39, it barely feels like this weapon is ever reloading in battle or in combat, which is one of the best features I think on this weapon. And it might be something very small and you guys might overlook it, but in the past, when I'm using this weapon specifically, I'll kind of go through like 4 or 5 enemies and then I'll kind of get the urge to reload and I'll be like, oh crap, I'm probably running out of bullets. And then I take a look at my mag count and I still have like 15 bullets left that'll clear out a whole other like 3 or 4 people. So it's a very nice thing to have. It's very convenient and I barely find myself needing to reload whenever I'm in a dire situation. So that's one of the best things in my opinion. But that is basically going to do it for the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. That has been the short and simple review of the Graviton Lance. I would very much recommend this over the Risk Runner or the other weapon that is offered if you guys get offered these 3 same weapons as myself, because this thing is just honestly so much fun to use and it's very unique. But thank you guys very much once again. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe for more daily Destiny 2 content. I'll be pumping out a ton of these videos in the next couple days, so make sure to tune in, subscribe, and drop a like on the video as it supports the channel. As always, have yourselves a great day and I'll see you all later. Peace.